Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy, what day is it? Thursday. Um, so very, very quick day, and it's looking good. Like I'm looking at my last trades. We're on a solid win streak here. Um, Return is pretty solid. Overall, these stats are pretty solid, so we're in a good spot right now. I only took one trade today, and I figured I don't really need to take any more um, and risk losing anything. So I want to get to this point where I'm taking one trade a day eventually and just using a lot of size when I do it. Because there's no real point. I mean, this is like it's not it's not 1% of my account. Obviously, my account has grown quite a bit um, since updating my strategy. So I'm risking $270 per trade, and I made 228, or I guess 225 after commissions. So it honestly works out. There isn't really any reason to continue trading. But I was able to squeeze out an extra $40 in this one, which I'm happy about. I was telling myself, like, yeah, it hit your profit target, but it worked out immediately. So hold a little longer. Obviously, it went lower, but I did hold longer than I'm typically used to. Um, so yeah, I'm super happy about that, and I'm happy I'm like continuing to like keep the same game plan. Like, I'm I'm pretty much sniping the top on a lot of these, and I'm in very small drawdowns. So I'm very happy about that. Like my max drawdown for the trade today, I think was like $40, which isn't much at all. Um, so super, super good stuff. One thing about pre-market trading is sometimes it doesn't really what is it? Calculate your MAE, MFE. And if you're like a beginner watching this, that's basically like the max profit you could have made from the time you opened the trade to close the trade, and then the max drawdown. I think MAE is drawdown, MFE is the max profit. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of if you're like trading optimally. Um, but the thing about pre-market trading is sometimes um, it doesn't calculate them. So it'll be kind of hard for me to know. I'm gonna go ahead and add them after return, so we can see them on the chart. So even though I was in like a $40 drawdown, because this went higher, it didn't calculate that. So you'll see MAE is the negative amount and MFE is the positive amount. Um, so yeah, so some of these ones that are over $270 is because I added to them when I would naturally add. And I was thinking back to this, and I really need to get out of that habit. Like, I really need to just cut that loss, because what'll happen is if I add the third time, fourth time, I'm compounding my losses when I want to stick to my size. And I don't know why I didn't think about that. I think it was just like a greed thought of like, if I'm going to add anyway, why am I cutting? But I didn't even think about the risk. And basically, I'm in for double what I want to be in for. So if that goes up higher and I get stopped, I'm basically exiting for triple the loss than I typically would want to, which doesn't make any sense. And that's why with MCVT, the drawdown was so high, because I was like, I'm just going to add to this. And then I got out like when I wanted to get out. Like, this is like basically if I had like two or three losses in a row. Honestly, this is like the price of one loss, but I saying like if I took a loss, took another loss, and then took a win, which is, this is three entries, I end up with this price. But that drawdown is really high, and I'm better off limiting my risk because if I lose on the third trade, this is a much higher loss than it would be if I just got out, standard 3 trades getting out. It would be like a 700 something dollar loss versus like what it could have been. So I hope that makes sense. But you see, like, very clean streak here, which is good. And these ones that are over $270 are because I added. So I need to cut those and just re-enter when I want to. But yeah, ENSC, just talking about it, like pretty standard. It was gapping up on it's a bio stock. The news didn't look super strong. So clear slowing momentum. We were struggling to push past 315. So that's why I entered short there. It ended up getting up to 3.4 or 3.3. And then huge selling came in right after it got up there. So was getting a little nervous that it was going to squeeze higher. But after that selling came in, I was like, okay, we're good. And then, the close is under the open here. So starting that downward momentum. And yeah, I just covered into the selling. So took off a little bit at my profit target, which was 2.7. I think it was 30 cents. So 2.76, or maybe 2.78, maybe it was 35 cents. So I took a little bit off there, took some more off in the 2.6s, and then I was like, yeah, this is fine. I took some more off in 2.5. I was like, this is good enough. I'm happy. And I wasn't expecting to be done this quickly, but given I have to go, I was like, I'll just, take 1 or 2 trades and then go. And this came up like right away. Like I took this trade 3 minutes into, when I was watching the market. So there were other opportunities, but this is a solid win, and I'm happy about it. So yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. And yeah, I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the reason why I switched to Trader Sync. So it does have like a lot more statistics that are pretty helpful. That Trader View doesn't have. So you could see here, like, some of this I'll explain. It looks a little bit insane, but basically, like, biggest profit, biggest loss. This is always going to be higher for me. Obviously, my max loss is capped at 270, but since sometimes I don't exit that position and I just add to it, if I take the loss, it'll be higher. So that's why. So think 270 plus 270 is this is basically grouping 2 trades into one. So yeah, so profit factor has been going up a little bit for me, along with like most of my stats in general, because I've been kind of squeezing those out. And then this return is assuming I start at 0, like my portfolio starts at 0. So that's why it's so high. So yeah, what I thought was super interesting is if you go to rolling exit here, and this might completely change how I trade, is it says, so it shows you like what your return is with your exits, but all it says is if you add time. Look, if I add 1 minute to my holding time, I could have like gotten an additional 8,000. But the crazy thing is, if I added 4 hours to my hold time, so I just exited 4 hours later, like that's all I have to make in terms of the adjustment, would have returned 27,000 more. So this goes to show me that my profit target is too high. So I might adjust that. I might switch it to that 1-to-1 or maybe 2-to-1. And yeah. Dude, I need a shit so bad, so I'm gonna make a cut and come back. Holy shit, dude. I've been recording this whole time. That's crazy. I know exactly how long that took me, and I'm not gonna tell any of you. Um, but yeah, anyways, this is like a super interesting graph because it just goes to show like how much holding can benefit me. The tough thing to know though is what percentage of the time this happens so that I could adjust my targets accordingly. Because there have been a lot of times where, and obviously, like my edge, it has the statistics it does because I get out when I do. If I don't get out when I do, how do those change? Like if I'm sacrificing a like 30% of my win rate, like let's say it goes from 70 to 30, and then I'm doubling my profit target, or maybe it's 1.5, whatever it looks like, um, is gonna matter. And I'm just gonna demonstrate visually in case that didn't make sense. Okay, I really have to like get going, but basically right now, if I enter here and let's just say this is like a candle, right? We have an up candle and then a down candle. Okay. And then let's say this is like another down candle. So if I am entering here and my profit target is here, and let's say this win rate is 70%, and then if my second, let's say like I adjust, and like if we look at like adding 3 minutes or adding 5 minutes, basically the time doesn't really matter. All that matters is the profit target, right? So um, I would say like adjust to 2 ATRs instead of just one. And let's say it's here, but my win rate falls to like 25%. Then in that case, it's not worth it. The other tough thing is that I can't act on this graph is sometimes those like some stocks will have really high ATRs when they spike up and they will collapse immediately. So there's a lot of profit that is left on the table there. Um, but it's hard to know which of those stocks brought in more versus others. Like some of them that are in an uptrend that I trade and I still make money on versus those ones that collapse immediately. It's hard to know. So I think all in all, I know which ones yield these higher returns, like what setup yields those returns, and I might start categorizing those and then filter this for that and see kind of in which scenarios I can hold and which scenarios I should just sell when I do. But anyways, interesting graph for sure, and kind of why I wanted to switch. There are a lot of different like um, things here that I can like use. So I'll play around with these and see if there's any more information that is worth sharing. One thing that I wish worked but doesn't is I believe it's the, let's see here. I think it is just the standard reports. So I wanted to see what my performance was against the S&P, but for some reason it's on different scales. So the price here is like isn't very helpful really. So you see that my accumulative return gross is just like $620, which doesn't make any sense. But I guess you could see like, oh, I think actually, yeah, I mean, either way, this isn't showing like data up to now, but it looks like it shows like if I had one share, what my return would be or whatever. So it's not like it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like not working how it should. It should just be like if you allocated your account, what it would look like. But anyways, that's it for today. Kind of rambling at this point, but to stay on topic, $228.73, one trade today. And yeah, look, win rate 83%, 100. So let's keep this up. It's a good time to be scaling up right now, so I might. It's just tough for me to, um, because I have to update it on two laptops. Basically, there's not an easy way to sync those settings, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and peace.